Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Coconut Shrimp.
Yeah, in case you're just now joining us, the idea of Coconut Shrimp is all about you and your spouse being better together than you ever could be on your own. Just like coconut and shrimp are okay on their own, when they come together, man, something magical happens. And so our thought is, in your faith journey, you guys are better together than you ever could be on your own. And so we want to challenge couples to journey out their faith through some disciplines and some practices together.
And we're going to start talking this week and then the next several weeks on serving.
Yeah, so we want to unpack this idea, and serving can mean so much, and it can be such a huge commitment, and it can mean serving one another, it can mean serving the world. There's just so many places we can go with this, and we want to start simple by just challenging couples to serve their spouse in a simple way each day.
And so every morning we wake up, Gavin always makes me a cup of coffee.
We say we wake up. Let's be honest. I get out of bed, and you hit the snooze alarm like 17 times.
I'm not a morning person. I'm just not. So,
and I'm a morning person because of coffee.
Well, but he gets out of bed where I can't really even do that. But he makes coffee for me every single morning, and truthfully, it's such a blessing to me, and I take it for granted sometimes. But I really do appreciate you doing that.
Oh, thank you. I'm a coffee snob, and so I'll give her a fresh pour over or a latte on our.
Well, and it's sad because now when I try to make my own coffee, it's just not as good. So.
Yeah. Anyway, something Nicole does for me all the time, without fail. I'll get into my car, and it's usually like the most stressful times ever. I'll get into my car and crank it on, and I'll look over to shift it into gear, and right there is a note of encouragement for me. Usually a verse along with it, just something to just uplift my day and help me to focus on the right things. She'll often do it before I'm heading into a big meeting or about to preach or just have a ton on my calendar. It's like she always knows the exact moments to do it. And those words of encouragement are just huge for me. And I don't even think you knew I was going to share that, but that's a huge way that you serve me. That's probably so simple in the moment, but it just speaks volumes to me in my busy life. So that's the challenge we want to give you guys. Find just simple ways to serve one another, to show one another you love each other. And in that way, put your spouse's needs even before your own so that you can say, hey, I value you. Yeah. You matter to me. You're on my mind. And I think this passage that we're going to be talking about a little bit over the next few weeks, we want to start by looking at Philippians 2. It talks about that specifically.
And it's Philippians 2:3. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble. Thinking of others is better than yourself. And we're also going to do verse 4, which is don't look only for your own interest, but take interest in others too.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to unpack this passage as it turns the corner and looks about how we're supposed to have the attitude of Christ in humility and of thinking of others before ourselves. But I love that passage because it's so easy for us just to run around and think about my to-do list, my tasks, and then my wants, my needs. And it can be challenging at times to kind of take off that mindset, instead put on the mindset of you first, your wants, your needs, your desires. And just little ways of serving one another is showing like, look, I'm not only taking interest in myself, I'm valuing you and thinking of you and putting your needs on my front burner as well.
And even when we're not together, keeping that mindset of you're at work and I'm taking care of the kids, or vice versa, or you're both at work or doing separate things. Remembering to serve each other during those times by calling each other, checking in.
Sending a Bitmoji.
Or sending chocolate, or meeting for lunch, or just saying, hey, you want to meet and have coffee in your 5-minute break between meetings. But something simple.
I think it's so easy to fall out of that rhythm and think only of your own wants and needs. And instead of saying, like, how can I serve and love my spouse and fulfill her wants and needs, it can quickly become like, here's how my spouse isn't serving or fulfilling my wants and my needs. And the best way to avoid that dangerous cycle where you just all of a sudden are both unsatisfied, ungrateful, mad at each other, bitter, resentful, the best way to avoid that trap altogether is just to put your spouse's needs first in all circumstances. Just to think of intentional ways to think about them as better than yourselves, to have their wants and needs on your forefront, and to serve them. It's just a great way to really stay happy in your marriage and to realize that there's a bigger purpose than just what you want. Yeah. So that's the simple way we want to start talking about serving. I want to challenge you just this week, each new day, find something simple you can do to serve your spouse. And our prayer is that it'll grow over time. Yeah. That's it for this week.
We'll see you next week. There's homework in the comments below if you guys want to try to do that this week too.
Yeah, we challenge you. Find 5 minutes, sit down and talk through some of the questions below. It'd be good for you. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.